and welcome, PocketWatch here, and it's about time for another episode of White Album 2. Let's continue, and this is going to be the last digital novel that we're going to read before going into the closing chapter, actually. So yeah, this is the last one with a very interesting title, The Idol Who Forgot How to Sing. I assume it's going to be another story about Setsuna, maybe similar backstory to Kazusa's, because this one is just like first novel about Kazusa we've read, the longer one, so it's going to take few episodes probably, and I assume it's about Kazusa because who else can be the idol, but who forgot how to sing? How is that? She never stopped singing. Anyway, let's go. Let's do it and let's see. Okay. Prologue. That girl, 1 month later. That girl had been a center of attention ever since the entrance ceremony. Okay. The spring for the young first-year students who had just overcome their trials. Oh, wait. I should probably do that. Yeah, and it's easier to read, actually. Overcome the trials and successfully enrolled in Hoja University Department of Public Policy. She was a presence in their classroom. She was a presence in their classroom that executed beauty, charm, and aura befitting an idol. Qualities that gave the students hope for their new university life. Yeah, this is definitely Setsuna. So this is like beginnings. So we may see how she lost her friends, basically. Why she's like that. Wait, is this going to be the novel where I will like actually start liking Setsuna or like understanding her better? So I will not be all negative about her? Because I'm mostly negative about Setsuna from like recent things that I've read, right? Wonder if I will change my mind or something. But I'm not a big fan of her, definitely. For those that only knew her from the legend, her new upperclassmen, she became the object of a lively gossip, as they'd follow her with their gazes while pointing their fingers at her whenever they saw her on campus, happy to have just crossed her path. From legend, her new upperclassmen. That's not Setsuna, I think. Actually it is. Okay. And for former classmates, while being able to take lessons with her in the same building once again was a stroke of luck. They still had same reservations towards her as she approached everyone with a familiar smile and idol-like them all. Almost as if she had regressed to herself from the year earlier. After all, was she supposed to be dating him? That girl was Giso Setsuna. Interesting! When is this happening? Entrance ceremony. Entrance ceremony? Do they assume that she's dating Haruki already? Wait, what? I'm confused. Okay, so Setsuna, title holder of Miss Hojo High for 3 consecutive years, and in the eyes of hundreds a legendary songstress. Okay. So this is not actually a backstory how she lost friends. Because she lost them while she was like in the middle school or something, but this is like just before introductory chapter, I assume. It's like 1 more month later. Wait, it's 1 more month later. Oh wait, this is not the backstory, this is after introductory chapter. Wait, I just realized. Wait, what? So this is just since the entrance ceremony. It's not like we are seeing in the entrance ceremony. Okay, never mind, my bad. Month later. So this is month after the introductory chapter, I think. Okay. Chapter 1, that song, 1 year... Wait, do we just time skip? Wait, hold on a second. Do we get like neatly tied up introductory chapter to the closing chapter with this one? We're going to see what happened in the time skip of 2 years. Oh, this is actually cool. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm actually in a hurry. Don't be like that, just think about it. Alright, Yogisa-chan. The very moment the fourth lecture had ended, the seminar room bustled with noise, as its students were finally relieved of their obligation for the day. Also, my camera is cutting me from the side. I don't like this. I'll survive. Amid the atmosphere of relief, Cessna attempts to push her way through the crowd and hurriedly leave the seminar room, but she was halted in her tracks by the male classmate. But there's only a week left until the Hojo University Festival. Never mind, this is before the festival. What's the timeline of this? Wait. That girl 1 month later. Later after what? And 1 year later. 1 year after what? Is it actually like the entrance ceremony? But people were saying that she was dating him at the entrance ceremony already? Okay. I will just read. Sorry, I sometimes get like staggered like that by stuff. Okay, so this is 1 year later after the entrance ceremony, I would assume. Probably. As always, you can help me out in the comments. Like establishing timelines and stuff. There's only 1 week left until Hojo Festival, yeah. You will only need to sing 1 song. You will manage by practicing just 2 or 3 times, right? I don't think I can be fully prepared for that within such a short frame. She responded the same way she would to any persistent man with an invitation that came her way. By tilting her head to the side with a rather troubled look, though she also wore a brilliant smile on her face. In truth, she was panicking over the side of a certain someone's back as he departed the room in a hurry, though her expression did not give it away. I'll be alright. You can just pick a song you want to sing and we'll work with that. I don't know, I think I will only end up inconveniencing you that way, I'm really sorry. So, other clubs, other people tried to get Setsuna to their like festival activities and sing, and she refused to all of them. Okay. I mean, after all, if you think about this, the other clubs wanted her only for like who she is as like in appearance, you know, for that she's like talented or famous and stuff like this, and Haruki just like decided, oh, you are good and actually I will treat you just like a normal person. So yeah. Anyway. She smiled gently one more and lightly shook her hands, indicating that she was humbly declining the request she was given. It had been nearly half a year since she enrolled into university, but that peculiar expression of Setsuna never collapsed even once. The fact that Setsuna was still getting many men approaching her under the guise of variety of reasons, and regardless of time and place, was ample evidence of that. However, it was also proof that Setsuna had not revealed her true self within the half year that she spent in the university. Yeah, she's been living in a lie, we know that. But also she likes that at the same place, right? Like, she likes being in the spotlight. But yeah, it's not like showing her real self. We had a talk about the real self in the introductory chapter, we are not going back to this. Come on, why don't you go with the White Album? That song that you sang during the school festival last year. This is after introductory chapter. Okay, this is something that novels and visual novels don't do usually. If you had festival, you know that was the festival. Not the case here. This is another year festival. This is after introduction chapter, 1 year later. That was entrance ceremony after they graduated and they entered like a new class, like they went to the university, right? Yeah, it's Hojo University Festival, not Hojo High School Festival. Oh my god. Jesus. Okay. Sorry if you've been frustrated with me for a second there. Okay. But the very moment she was given the proposition, Cessna's voice cracked, as if a reef formed upon her, usually reserved and gentle manner. Or you could go with the Sound of Destiny. We'll pick up either of those songs in no time. Yeah, Cessna have bad memories about this. I mean, good memories, but also painful memories of Kazusa. So yeah, not very delicate, the White Album thing. The truth is, I saw you perform live. I abandoned my own style and walked all the way to the high school to see that performance. Is that so? The crack in her voice was gradually spreading to her vague smile, but the man before her did not notice any of that, for he was too engrossed in his attempt to persuade her. Well, personally though, I want you to sing that peculiar song. Oh no, the one about Kazusa. That song, you mean? You know, that song you sang during the festival, the one that was original. Oh my god! Which is why at that moment he remained oblivious, even as the mask she was wearing split into two. Alright, that's enough. What? Oh. That's not going to go look for you. If you are going to act all familiar with the girl you don't even know, senpai. Okay, this is Haruki, yeah. I don't want to hear all of that from all of you people, Izuka. Oh, wait, this is Takeya. Takeya in the clutch for Setsuna once again. He helped her like when she was like had the stage fright. Yeah, I get it. I'm having the same thing in my mind right now. I want to hear that from you, of all people. However, a certain pair who was very familiar with her suddenly intervened, such that the man never noticed the complete change that had come over her. Takeya-kun, Io. Oh, Io is here as well. Okay, let me apologize to the both of you again. A few minutes later, Cessna and her two friends, shared a table in the sidewalk cafe, a stone's throw away from the public policy department. And the first thing she did was thank them for stopping that guy, and more importantly, herself from doing anything rash. I think I know why this novel is called Idol Who Forgot How to Sing. I think during I don't know if she will overcome this during this novel, but if we can assume that like she has painful memories with singing at this point, you know, like about Kazusa and also the Kazusa song, right? The original song that they sang, and with the festival she have a lot of memories together with the three of them, and she's still blaming herself for everything there. So I would assume this is the part that is similar to Kazusa's past. When Kazusa's stopped enjoying piano, she started hating playing piano. She still played piano by, you know, just because that's what she was good at, right? Without really thinking, but she didn't enjoy that. It's probably what's happening with Setsuna right now. She does not enjoy singing anymore. She lost her true self in a sense. And it's possible that, like, in the span of 2 years between introductory chapter and the closing chapter, she did not enter the festivals, competitions, or whatever, you know? It's entirely possible that she may be like sang only at home, you know, at the room, like noting something, like humming something or something, you know. I think we're getting like Kazusa past, but from like Setsuna perspective at this point. Like, not exactly, but you get me what I mean, right? Didn't thought about this actually, that she may stop singing. But that makes sense, I guess. Like, there's too many painful memories for her from this. And they're still like teenagers, right? How old are they like now? 18 or 19? Something like that, right? They graduated in the introductory chapter, so they were like 18, and that was 2 years time skip, I think, right? So in the closing chapter they are 20, I think. So this is year after, so 19, yeah, okay. I think that's the time skip there. As yours, you are as popular as always. Not that I envy you though, it must be quite a drag. In her usual way, Mizusawa Io glossed over Setsuna's apology as she took a sip of her iced coffee. Her personality had not changed at all since the high school days. She was blunt and open in the way that put most guys to shame. Traits that complement her short hair and vigorous appearance. Io is awesome. God damn it, Io is so awesome. I really hope we would have like Io wrote or something, because I've been told that closing chapter actually have roads. So if I will stumble upon some choice, I will not be surprised. Sorry. Like, I was like convinced that this is a linear story. That like I will have to like theorize about who like Haruki is going to end up with, Kazusa or Setsuna. I mean, I still can like theory craft and stuff, but there are going to be choices to make, apparently. Anyway, this is the fifth one you've gotten, huh? Almost half the bands participating have come to you with offers by now. As he added milk to his black tea, oh, he's still doing the same thing as he did in the first, like, old times. In the first, like, digital novel we've read. Izukatake expressed his amazement and admiration at Setsuna still enduring legend, wanting a much more natural expression than when he was with the other girls. His usual poor reputation had only become more prominent since the high school days. It was further complemented by his flashy appearance, with unruly light brown hair and a slender build that put most girls to shame. Seriously, what's even going on? To Setsuna, whose popularity was equal across guys and girls and students of different academic years. The two were among a group of 4 that made up Setsuna's smallest and most important social circle. Your traits that made you the winner of the Miss Hojo High for 3 years haven't declined at all, of course. The same goes for how you are on the inside, okay? The guy are good at compliments. Yeah. You could easily win Miss Hojo even here and in your first year, no less, provided you're willing to enter, that is. Me? I just can't. That was pretty vain, Setsuna. What I mean is that I don't have any intention to enter anyway, so it's impossible. Yeah, I mean, if you think about this, she never had intention to join in the high school as well. She was kind of forced into this. Like, I think like her friends assigned her every year, right? If I remember correctly. Yeah, I can accept that response. You don't have to tease her, Io. I imagine Setsuna-chan's show of modesty is out of consideration for the other girls. Even if it comes off a mean-spirited, I'm sure that Setsuna-chan is at least partly genuine in her concern. Ah, I think you are teasing me a decent beat yourself, Takaya-kun. There was nothing that Setsuna could do about the two of them teasing her. For the fact of the matter was her popularity had not diminished whatsoever. Ever since she enrolled into university, she had received continuous streams of invitation from the various clubs that visited orientation classroom, and within only a few days, her name became well known among not only students, but the faculty as well. That peculiar uproar had subsided slightly following the end of the Golden Week. That was mentioned in other visual novels too, I never remember what that is. I don't remember which, like, festivals were during the Golden Week. I think it's about summer? I don't remember. But she's... or was it the New Year? That was the New Year, I think. I don't know. Anyway. But she still had to fend off petitions from the committee for the Miss Hojo contests happening in the June on a daily basis, who implored her to participate in the preliminary round. She had a moment respite after being spared from participating in the preliminaries, but immediately afterwards she became contested by various bands hoping to secure her as their lead singer for the outdoor summer live concert that was to be held on the first day of the summer break. And presently the battlefield she needed to face had shifted to the university festival concert next week, with many approaching her with the last-ditch attempts to get her to sing. Moreover, the final round of the Miss Hojo contest finals was also to commence on the same day, though it was deemed an unexciting event owing to Augustus' decision to abstain from participating. Wow. Everything still is like just about her. Still, it's amazing that you haven't entered the ire of other girls despite all that, Setsuna-chan. Unlike a certain underclassman of yours did. That's it. By the way, what about that Taisho Romance Cafe that the public policy department was planning to put together? Doesn't seem like they might have an intention of giving up on pulling two certain people in. Wow. Did they like saw her in this cafe last year when she was at high school, and now they're doing this like in the university because they want her to join? Wow. As for why the department opted for that peculiar name for their style, every single member of the department recognized the massive scale of their accomplishments. I guess like they mean Haruki too. I assume. Accomplishments, good and bad alike, during the high school festival the previous year. Also, I now understand why it's said in the beginning. Wasn't she supposed to be dating him? Pretty much no one in school probably knows what happened at the end of the introductory chapter. And they're just behaving like usual, like friends. They're not dating, probably at this point, but they're still just like our like friendly relationship. So people just like assume like, hey, wasn't she like supposed to like date this guy? Because I don't know. Well, she got such a sturdy defense that she won't even give you room for misunderstandings. Unlike a certain female singer who had each and every one of her fellow members in the palm of her hand, that is. Nice. So we're going to turn your blind eye as soon as the subject happens to involve you. Don't you think that it was the band members that turned a blind eye, and twice for that matter? Yeah, it's kind of nice to see that the two of you haven't changed at all. Sasardo was a light smile upon witnessing their exchange, which is more forthright than what most normally would be expected between the guy and the girl. It was generally a relieved smile, a stark contrast to the candid expression she wore in the classroom just earlier. Her social network had expanded since she transitioned from the high school to university, but as of now, apart from the two people before her, no one else had ever seen that expression from her. Yes, not even her own family. Yeah? I'm also the same as always. Nothing could change, right? Nothing will never ever change. Yeah, and they don't think. And it also means that they were the only people who had seen her let out gloomy through herself. Well, it seems that he started another new part-time job. Oh, Haruki's working part-time, okay. Really? Yeah, as a prep... What? I mean, okay, that makes sense. Haruki is smart and he's always been good at, like, teaching others and, like, in general, like, in studying. Yeah, okay. Okay, I'm not surprised that he can be a teacher. Prep school teacher for students aiming for the Hojo his university. That was why Takeya changed the topic somewhat abruptly. Whoa. I mean, I never would have passed the general exam for this place. He always has to rise the bar even with his jobs. Why does he love work so much? I know he's gotta be spending every spare second preparing for his classes too. But he knew. Takeya wasn't implying changing subject. It was his way of helping the situation. Takeya is such a goat, god damn it. Takeya is way better in these digital novels than he is like in the introduction. God damn it! In the visual novel. Introductionary intro. I see. I don't know why I cannot pronounce this. Wow. What the hell? Anyway. You know how he always leaves right after the lectures ends these days? Apparently he always gets to the classroom before his students do. Yeah, that sounds like Haruki-kun. Because they both knew, even without seeing the relief on Susa's face, how starved she had been for conversation concerning him. How many jobs does he have now? There's also the family restaurant and the convenience store, right? Jesus, Haruki! What the hell? There's that net cafe too, so far, just non-stop from the evening to the middle of the night. And he still never skips a lecture or report and passes every test. When does he even sleep? See? He's a legit, just crazy busy constantly. It's not like he's avoiding you, says Nachan. I know, okay. Not like he's avoiding you. I think he wants to forget about Kazusa. To be honest. Like, even though he loves Kazusa and stuff, like, Kazusa basically at this point just left. Like I said, like, in one of the previous episodes, we don't, like, Haruki doesn't even know if she's, like, going to come back ever for him and stuff, you know? That was, like, this could be, like, a final goodbye. So he's trying to forget about her. So he's probably, like, taking all the works, all the jobs. He's studying non-stop. He's just, like, overloading himself. So he's, like, constantly tired and don't have time to think about her. Probably. That's what I think. This is similar to what Kazusa did when she's been in trouble. She also, like, over-exaggerated herself. In many ways, right? That's a nice soundtrack. What is that? Huh. I know, okay. Because they knew she'd been desperately trying to chase after Haruki as he hardly out of the lecture hall just before. Have you talked recently? No, not for the past month. Okay, maybe he's actually avoiding you. I mean, it also makes sense, right? like, god damn it, are we going to really go back to like the whole like betrayal issues? Like all of them thinks that all of them betrayed the rest. God damn it, however complicated that may sound. Kazusa feels that she betrayed them. Haruki feels he betrayed them. Setsuna feels she betrayed them. Like, god damn it. So yeah, he wants to forget about Kazusa probably, and he does not have like courage to face Setsuna about this as well. At the same time. That's what I assume. Have you called him? Text him? Has he sent you anything? No, I mean, neither of us can. As they were in the same year, in the same department, the two of them could have met face to face and talked every day. There was no need for phone calls or texts. That said, given that Susuna couldn't even select Haruki's number on her phone right now, even if she did get the opportunity to sit next to him and start talking to him, she honestly didn't know whenever she would be able to figure out how to proceed after that. So, there was no progress at all, Setsuna. Are you okay with things being the way they are right now? Nope, she's definitely not okay because, like, thing that she was like so much afraid of is happening right now. She's being pushed away. One friend just left, while at the same time stealing Haruki from her, and now Haruki is like leaving her behind as well. Yeah, like it's like the worst nightmares of Setsuna like happening. And you can't rush her like that, you know that, Io. It's been a month. Actually, half a year. Never mind. What Haruki had done half a year ago, what he, the supposedly straight-laced class rep, had done that had broken her heart. This girl who looked like an idol, but actually was family-oriented and mischievous. Yeah. Why not just stop then? Stop chasing after him. I just said Haruki's only redeeming quality was his honesty, and he threw that away. What good is he now? Oh, wow! This is Io, right? Talking, I think. As his friend, and as her friend, and as the friend of another girl who wasn't there here, there was no way, no absolute way, that she could forgive that betrayal. And yet, that is my fault. Yeah. God damn it. Like, these three have so many issues between each other. Setsuna would not allow them to blame Haruki-kun. I said in the previous episode, love makes no fucking sense. Like, you cannot rationalize this. Yeah, like, she cannot forgive this betrayal at the same time. She feels like it's her fault because she knows it's her fault at the same time. Oh my god, this is so... I cornered Haruki-kun. I pushed Kazusa too far. She couldn't allow the one who wasn't here to be treated like she didn't exist. I tore the two of them apart. And she couldn't allow herself to be forgiven. She lamented the fact that she hadn't changed, but she couldn't allow them to be forgotten. Setsuna was still wandering in the labyrinth with no hope of even breaking out of it. Really though, you two, thank you for worrying about me while I'm being all indecisive. Well, you are our best friend, right? Sorry. Their kindness hurt. The kindness actually hurt a tiny bit. Because Setsuna had only ever sworn to be friends with one person. I don't like how it sounds. I don't like how selective Setsuna is here. I mean, I know that she closed off for friendships because of the past, But you would assume that she would like break out of her shell in the past year. But no. Like, people are like clearly her friends and she's not acknowledging them. This is fucked up. I don't like that. Up until last year, Io and Takaya had been set one step below the three of them. But they continued to stay with her and willingly accommodated Setsuna and her arrogance. See, true friends! They were still here with her despite the fact that the two had already left her personal circle of the three. You guys are all I have. To Setsuna, they were more than just friends. Okay. Well, I'm happy to hear that, but maybe you could try making some more friends you could be honest with. Yeah, having Io and Io be your only female friend must be a nightmare. There's no telling when you might get infected by her nastiness. Nice. And the two knew, because they were more than just friends to Setsuna. What I mean is, your actual personality is great. It's just a waste if you keep faking it. Yeah, there's no telling when you might get infected by a habit of talking to someone with a smile on her face while kicking them under the desk. Awesome. They knew that Setsuna wasn't happy. They knew that in order to support her, they had to suppress themselves. If you really opened your heart, Setsuna, you could find more friends you could laugh with and fight with for real. Oh yeah, totally. There are loads of girls who want to be friends with you, Setsuna-chan, but not for the reasons that she wants. Everyone in school basically sees her as the fake one, not the real Setsuna. I mean, the public appearance, right? No, not when I'm like this. And? How could they, even when I hate myself? Okay, I'm starting to feel kinda bad about Setsuna now. How did that happen? I mean, I felt for her. I felt bad for her introduction. In the end of the first part of the game. Okay, no. Okay, I will just continue. They knew that even with all their efforts, they wouldn't be able to bring Setsuna true smile back to her face. What does everybody like so much about me anyway? I just force a smile all the time. I never be beyond surface level with anyone. I'm a coward and a liar who can't laugh or get angry seriously. I'm like a salesperson. Setsuna had changed. Half a year ago, at that snowy airport, she had been changed to a tragic degree. If I know things would turn out like this, I would have never done that concert. Setsuna? And it had meant nothing but unhappiness to Setsuna and to those in her life. I never would have gone up to that roof. Hey. And yet, as the result of I wouldn't have, and I never would have listened to the White Album there. Wow. Okay. I think I may start liking Setsuna actually. She's actually feeling very bad about this. Which is good, I think. Like, I mean, each three of them had some issue, basically, and made all of this happen, but I'm really glad Setsuna is actually, like, we are actually confronting Setsuna about this. I think, like, this is the character that we mostly needed things like this to say, realize, and stuff. I think she needed this character development. Cessna had changed. The sorrowful look flickered into her face now, and then possessed an immense allure that was enough to captivate not only a guy like Takaya, but a woman like you as well. These days, she shifted frequently between the idol-like girl and the actress-like woman, toying with others in the way she herself couldn't control. If people who didn't know what she was actually like were to come into close contact with her in this state, this was the real reason that Cessna drew even more attention now than she had in the high school, in spite of her attempts to blend in to be forgotten. I'm home. Hey, you're kinda late. When Cessna opened the living room, she was greeted by now familiar sounds of her younger brother, Takahiro laid-back voice, and the loud, flashy sound effects of the fighting game he was playing. Earlier that year, he managed to slip easily the Hojo University-affiliated high school with only 2 months of intense studying, as he spent all the time goofing off that sparkle of effort and talent was nowhere to be seen. Mom and Dad go to bed. I think they just headed for bed, yeah. I'll take bath then. Cessna? Huh? Just as Cessna started to let herself relax, the dark kitchen suddenly became bright, and the pyjama-clad figures of her parents appeared. Oh? Family talk? As she had feared before reaching the house, their eyes had a mixed worry, reproach, and relief, and that looked very, very difficult for her to handle right now. You're awfully late. Just a bit. I went out drinking with you and Takaya for the first time in a while. Oh, you were with those two. Well, that's The relief in her mother's face was directed not at Setsuna but behind herself. It seems like a gesture that was meant to put someone else at ease, rather than sign she went to ease herself. Yeah, okay. So that is still overprotective. Wait, Setsuna. Here. But Cessna's father kept his stern gaze on her, as though her mother's intention had missed its mark. I called, didn't I? I said I wouldn't need any dinner. Under the pressure of that gaze, Cessna began rattling of her excuses before the question even came. It was her way of acknowledging that she had made a mistake. What time is it? 12:30? Ooh, wow. In other words, she was well aware that it was past midnight. When you called your mother this evening, you said you'll be home by 9, didn't you? I was planning on coming straight home after dinner, but we could really get up in the conversation, and that we started talking about to get drinks afterwards. There was no lie in her excuses. After lectures were over, they moved from the university cafe to the family restaurant. Then, at you and Takai's invitation, they wandered from bar to bar, until they realized that the last train were about to leave. I'm very glad that we're actually touching, like, once again, like, White Album is touching a lot of, like, casual, normal stuff that, like, can happen in life in general. Like, this is very realistically written, and I think it's fairly rare for visual novels like that to be like, yeah, we went like drinking, you know, like we just went from bar to bar, like normal bunch of friends and teenagers. Of course, over 18 teenagers, so you can drink. But yeah. Usually games are not like open up like this. Like I feel like, I don't know, like authors are like afraid of like bringing up drinking in their game for some reason. Like I don't know. Anyway. After lectures were over, they moved. Yeah, Trail's about to leave, okay. You should have called us when your plans changed. We've been all very worried. I just forgot, that's all. That excuse wouldn't lie either. It was the most fun she had in a long time, so she had generally forgotten what time is. And even Takaya had only invited Setsuna along because they saw how depressed she was and were worried about her. But she believed that they too had truly enjoyed the few hours they had spent together. After all, Setsuna had been genuinely enjoying herself. And she believed that they shared the sentiment too. I'll be more careful next time, okay? Wait, Setsuna, we're not done talking. Good night. Wow. Wow. Okay. Okay, Setsuna. Setsuna had enough. She was determined to end this conversation. Partially because she didn't want to deal with the lecture that was inevitably about to unfold, but more than that, she wanted to preserve the pleasant mood she was in. You are so insensitive, Dad. Try to sympathize with her a little. Setsuna cut off the conversation herself and fled down the hall. Her brother began his blatant effort to pack her up. That thing about all going for drinks together was obviously just a cover. You know, the two of them snuck off to act all lovely-dovey in the middle of it. That's not helping! Takahiro, yeah. That was support in name only, more like a landmine. Yeah, that's not helping. God damn it. Catching Setsuna equally on his blast. I mean, mentioning Mizusawa-san and Izuka-san, she's clearly using them to hide Kitahara's name. Yeah, they don't know. They have no clue what happened in the half year. They have no idea. Wow, this is surprising actually. I'm very surprised that they have no idea. I'm very surprised about this. It's so weird it doesn't make even sense. That they don't know. Like, how is that even possible? Stop it. You are the one hiding crucial information, Nechan. What are you so embarrassed about? Takahiro, who had not even set down his game controller, was probably less than half focused on the conversation. However, the way he was brazenly speculating shook Setsuna so much she gritted her teeth, and she lost her composure in a flash. Is that true, Setsuna? It could possibly be true. She asked, she hadn't so much as talked to Haruki for almost a month now. I thought Kitahara-kun was a bit more upright than that. Listen, it wasn't true, so she couldn't allow Haruki to be blamed. Upright? She hadn't so much as a laid finger on her. He hadn't so much as a laid finger on her. He never asked her to spend time alone together. I suppose you can't really say, since we haven't seen him lately, but maybe he's changed since starting university. That part was not a lie. Yep. He had changed. Haruki had changed. Yeah. Everyone changed. Dragging a young woman around until this late night told him. You what? I told Haruki not to call. Yes, he had changed along with Setsuna. He wanted to call you because he was worried, but I knew you would object. Wait. Wait, what? He wanted to call you because you want... Now, what does that... Dad, I'm in university now. I can't keep having to ask my parents for permission to stay out late. What I'm doing? Seriously, what are you thinking about? This is normal. No, it's not. I asked the other guys, and none of them have nagging parents like you. Well, maybe things are different for them, but we are how we are. You are contradicting yourself. First you say it's normal, then you start making the distinctions. How is this normal? Okay, I like the snap of Setsuna here, actually. I've been talking about how I don't really like how overprotective her parents were while we were reading the first part of the game. I see. And yeah, seems like that's the case. There's no point in doing this. I have no reason to oppose that. I have no reason to get stubborn. Setsuna, stop trying to derail this with the petty arguments and whatever. What? We are both adults. We can take responsibility for ourselves. I mean, I'm lying. I wasn't with him. We weren't alone. We couldn't have been. So, does that mean you are in the adult relationship? At some point, Takahiro had shifted his attention away from his game, and I was watching Setsuna, looking vaguely shaken. Yes, it does, but what's wrong with that? She's so much lying here, holy shit. She's just... Oh, wow. I'm kinda struggling a little bit finding out why she's saying this. I mean, she's snapping at her father, obviously, and I guess like she's just making up these things about Haruki because like them being in the relationship and stuff because well, she just wants to fight him, basically, you know? She had enough. And this is the argument she can use right now. So she will use it, even though it's a lie. It's like we're just messing around. We are both serious about that. There's no reason for you to worry about me. And you have no right to object. To be honest, I'm not sure how I'm supposed to react that as your brother. Why do they believe this? It's just impossible dream that I tossed out there without thinking. A delusion that I disobedient girl conjured half a year ago. Why would they believe it? I was in such a nice mood when I got home, and now you've ruined it. I'm going to take a bath. Wait, Cessna. She had reached her limit. Cessna hardly turned around, maintaining her character as a headstrong, unreasonably angry girl, and took a refuge in the bathroom. Ah, she got lots of guts now. The sounds of her angry steps storming the hallway, followed by the slam of the bathroom door, finally pulled Togi's household back into reality. You know, that might just be what happens when you come down on someone that hard for the whole year. It might be the time you prepare yourself that. For what? At that look on his father's face, indignant and yet desolate, Takahiro sighed with a strained laugh. What's up, man? You're spacing out. Ah, no, I'm not really. And his mother, who's simply been following Sasu's expression, wore the receipt this entire time. Nothing, just leave it at that. It was still difficult to gauge the meaning behind the droplets, and it seems to be on the verge of spilling from her eyes at the last moment. Cessna blasted herself with a shower that was cold enough to freeze both her body and her heart, and amid the commotion, she finally released the despair that she was feeling. Her head was full of nothing but self-loathing, running around and round, because she had ruined her own good mood, because she had become the sort of person she could easily lie to her own family, and because of the substance of lie itself. Yeah, like, she's been like, before she's been like, oh, like, I will never lie, she's been always open about everything. She called out Kazusa lies, and now she's the one who's hiding stuff and lying. Like, she's literally becoming Kazusa's old self. God damn it. And because of the substance of the lie itself, because hurting herself was the... I mean, not exactly, because Kazusa still have different personality, but in general way. Because hurting herself was the only way she had to protect her identity. Sasa had returned herself from a year before to August-san, always at the center of attention, always alone. Liar, I'm a liar. No, actually, she was just a little bit different from the year before, because the way Cessna was right now, she was unable to stand being like her old self, and she was hurting, getting worn out, and steadily losing her heart. 1 week later, what's going on? Apparently a bunch of possible mistakes piled up on the impossible degree. Sounds pretty impossible. Okay. Cessna woke up in the morning to a phone call from Io, who sounded so much like she was at her ends, at wit's ends, that she was completely incapable of getting to the point. Our Tashio Cafe is nowhere near ready. As of this morning, it's pretty much guaranteed we aren't going to be able to make it in time to open at 10. Okay. What time is it? A bit after 6. How many minutes? 15? How many seconds? Are you actually awake? Ugh. Today was the first day at the Hojo University Festival. As it was a festival day, which meant a day off from lessons, Cessna meant to spend this cold morning in her warm bed, but with her still groggy head and her suddenly shivering body, she responded in a way that also wasn't particularly comprehensible. Anyway, we've mobilized, we're using anyone we can get on our hands on. I mean, all of us. Obviously, people who have their own clubs to deal with are exempt, but people who aren't here for personal reasons are being called in depending. People who are planning on sleeping until noon don't get to argue. Like, what? Setsuna just turned into Kazusa. What the hell? Don't sound like that. You think I want to call you like this? Sorry, thanks you, but I don't want to be a hostess though. Right, neither of us want to repeat that nightmare, I know. Nice. The two of them had been the stars of the first and second day of the high school festival the year before, and went through all sorts of ordeals. They knew painfully well what sort of looks they would have to endure, from what sorts of people, and their period appropriate outfits. Okay, we'll be making sweets in the kitchen and behind the scenes. I know you're good at that too, so the representative came to me and begged me. I guess, well, okay. Okay, so working in the kitchen, okay. Cessna, thanks Cessna, I owe you one. Friends of hers from the same department had come to her 3 times now, courteously asking for help, and she had disappointed them every time. Now determined to clear up that feeling of debt, she agreed, reluctant as she was. I'll make myself clear. I will not be serving customers, alright? I know. No sneak attacks. I swear to God, you won't have to wear any costumes. Okay, what time should I come in? Well, the food prep is starting at 9:30, so we're gonna meet up in front of the building 6 then. Got it. See you later. I'll be waiting. Okay. After the restless and energetic phone call was over, Cessna once again having the sign of the displeasure. It was partially resentment at the outrage of being suddenly woke up and called in early in the morning on her day off, but even more than that, she was lamenting how suffocating the festival bustle was going to be. She didn't want to show up at the university festival at all, not even for 1 day. Yeah, so it's not just singing. Like, whole festival. Like she said, she would never do the festival if she knew how it will end. She really hates festivals now. She could already imagine it. How many people would be more openly over-familiar with her than usual, touched by the bright, noisy, no-hold-barred atmosphere at the festival. How awkward it would be running with the band and club members on the sides, whom she had told she was too busy and therefore couldn't participate. And all the time that the school festival, no, the university festival would recall. Yeah, memories both dreamlike and nightmarish. Yeah. Alright. Attempt to cut off some painful memories rushing through her head. Cessna glanced at her alarm clock once more. Then, after confirming that she still had 3 hours to spare, she sluggishly got out of bed and walked to the door, having decided to first have breakfast. She got into thought as she placed her hand against her head before she suddenly began rummaging through violently in her dresser. And 3 more hours later... What? Well, all those impossible mistakes were resolved impossibly easily. Wait, what? Wait, what? Iyo. When Cessna met up with Io at 9:30, Io's voice was quite mellow, reasonably calm, and she wasn't getting to the point. As Cessna digested her words, it seems clear that the business about being nowhere near ready and not making time to open 10 has been greatly exaggerated, and all they actually needed was 1 or 2 people helping out. Okay. And given that the work was such that Io and 1 other person can handle it, all the others who had been called in were now going to be happily let off. Wow. I'm giving props to Io though. Very good way of like actually making Setsuna to actually move somewhere. Like seriously, like just letting Setsuna be, it would be like probably the biggest mistake they can make. Like depression is fucking horrible. You do not want this to like develop any further. I mean, being at the festival is kind of depressing for her, but also it contains good memories. And she's with friends like Io and Takaya, so it also lessens the burden. Like, just don't let her just be like alone in her room and thinking about horrible stuff. I'm really sorry, Setsuna. Anyway, you're all dismissed. Thanks. Good job. Don't glare at me like that, I apologize. It was that Cessna felt angry about the sleep-up born of Io's irresponsible assumptions. It was just that she simply couldn't believe Io's smooth explanation. After all, hey, what the hell is going on here, Takaya? Now, don't get mad, Haruki. There's no trouble at all, that's good, right? They just fucking made them to meet. Oh my god, these guys. Okay, Takaya and Io, you are the best. Okay, you guys are the best. There were only 2 people, including herself, who had ultimately been called into account of misunderstanding. That's not the problem, and you know it. You tricked. No, I didn't trick you. It's just unfortunate misunderstanding. You expect me to believe that? From behind her, she heard a familiar voice. An uncompromising voice, which had no problem arguing with a teacher if it needed to. A voice that never balked at any favor that was asked. They would never shied away from complaining either. A voice that had always expressed its feelings earnestly, even if its owner was looking away in embarrassment. That was why Cessna had been unable to look in that direction this whole time. I'm sorry, Cessna, but really this was the only way. Eh? You leaned in right next to Cessna's ear and whispered to her so the guys won't hear what she was saying. I know that today is a double-edged sword for you. Io? As Io looked straight at her, Cessna gazed straight back. To be more precise, she was staring at herself, reflecting in Io's eyes. But this is the road you have to go down eventually, you know. If you keep running away, you will never be able to get over it. Or go back to how things were. Good points, yeah. Goddammit, Io and Takaya are the best. Like, I swear. They are just like on the top of the tier list of characters at this point. Like, they are single-handedly making White Album 2 possible. In her own face, she saw anxiety, uneasiness, loneliness, and fear. This is your chance to take that risk, so take it. All that plus a tiny bit of hope. Anyway, you two can do whatever you want. Exactly, you can go to work or go home and sleep. Of course, you could also walk around a little since you're already here. The festival only happened once a year. Oh yeah, they're having that outdoor concert today in the main area. Takaya and Io slowly backed away from them, retreating into the building. I just imagine them just like going backwards into the shadows. Wow. Okay, music. getting into the building, yeah. They were always perfect though when it comes to shady schemes like that. Is Taka and Iolo actually dating? Are they going to date at some point? I swear, like, these guys are just like meant to be together. Like, Taka is not the best at relationships, but I have a feeling like with Io that like they would be perfect. Like at some point they must be working together. Like there's no way they will not be together. Come on. You could barely tell that they, similar to certain other pair, had their own complicated circumstances, boasting an even longer history than the latter. Anyway, we'll leave the rest up to your decision. Come on, you. Oh yeah, see you, Setsuna. You too, Haruki. Ah, hang on. And a certain pair, helpless against the extraordinary in-sync duo, was left alone in the front of the building. Gee. The four people had become two, and the moment of the noise had died, they realized that this place was not theirs alone, but a public one. Yeah, okay. With the general opening time only half an hour away, students were rushing frantically in and out to finish their preparations, and those two, standing frozen so close to the entrance, couldn't help but to draw some attention. Hey, it's been a while. Yeah, hey. Awkward. Zoom dots. Dotting again. Even so, for a short while, the guy who was lectured others to not inconvenience people and the girl who always trying to bury herself so as not to stand out attracted the gazes of the other people passing by, full of curiosity and somewhat annoyed. After that, they spent about 10 minutes walking slowly around the campus, which was swelling with the pre-festival exhalation. It was a complete waste of time for both of them. It's been a while, huh? Yeah. Is it going to be their whole conversation? As proof, their words to each other were practically identical to what they said 10 minutes before. That wasn't really the reason why Cessna wasn't saying anything. However, she was too occupied with trying to look at the side to the face without him picking up on it. But there was probably more than going on with his side of things too. As proof, they kept repeating an embarrassing cycle of meeting each other's gazes, hastily looking away before locking eyes again. Everything well, Haruki-kun? Yeah, I mean, I've been okay. He was Kitakara Haruki. Kitahara Haruki. She had met him a little more than a year ago, declared her feelings about him about a year ago, stepped out of sync with him a little more than 6 months ago, parted ways with him about 6 months ago, but he was still a special guy to her. I heard you've had a bunch of different part-time jobs now. Aren't you working too hard? Nah, I don't think so. I mean, I'm going to school every day. Yeah, I guess so, yeah. He's definitely wanting to forget. It was such a bland, standard answer, but Cessna still savored it thoughtfully. It had been forever after this, after all. Even though they had been in the same lecture hall every day, listening to the same lectures, they had become so disconnected from each other that this passed for conversation. Okay. She had wanted to talk to him for so long. That was why she always tried so frantically to chase after him as he left the lecture hall. Even so, the fact that their conversation had now broken off soon came as no surprise to her. She had known things would go like this, which is why the moment it seems like she was about to catch up to him, she always slacked her pace. Those 11 minutes may have been a waste, but every moment pushed the two of them to make a decision. Walking through the familiar campus, following the same roads they always walked, they found themselves at a place where it inevitably led. The main gate. Usually day was crowded with signs of various colors. If they took a single step beyond this point, they would return to the ordinary routine, their individual after-class routine, where nothing happened, nothing changed. Well, I guess this is... Wait. That day wasn't just ordinary day after class had ended, however. She could not let it go the same way yesterday had. Okay. That's not taking initiative here, I see. What do you want to do after this? Huh? After all, there was 334 day gap between. Alright, tomorrow is my chance, and alright, next year's my chance. The festival? I guess. Having finally lit the fuse, Setsuna followed through on her own momentum and looked Haruki straight in the face. There, she found anxiety, uneasiness, loneliness, fear. And she knew that his feelings were exactly identical to those she bore. Yeah, pretty much. She clenched her hands into fists behind her back, having made up her mind. So, I know what Takeya-kun and Io said, but... Setsuna? You really don't have anything else to do? Ooh! Wow! Haruki instantly shut her off. Oh, wow. What about you, Haruki-kun? You must be busy with work, right? You don't have time to be wandering around some festival. Now I'm free. Oh wait, no, this is... Oh yeah, sorry, my bad. Haruki, Setsuna, Haruki. My bad, okay. Sorry, been a little bit confused, but I'm on track now. Okay, never mind. Now I'm free. Okay, so Haruki initiated, okay. She had forgotten how to lean on Haruki in the way that she would done so naturally a year ago. However, she knew how to handle herself. Is that so? Yep, that's right. All she had to do was find a reasonable excuse. Particularly, it was a surefire way to elicit an immediate response from the certain someone she felt such affection for. Then, yes, the festival? Again. We are here, aren't we? See? Just like that. Where should we go first then? I think celebrities stand up to show up on the first day. I'm starving, I skipped my breakfast today. Wow. Really? The simulation had ended long ago. Everything was going according to strategy that had been set up 2 hours earlier. Do you want to get a candy apple or something? I think I would like some ramen. She had realized to a certain extent when Io called her. She had sensed the deception and consent for her, albeit vaguely. She felt certain that Haruki would be brought to the sense. At the festival, it's not going to be a very good ramen. I know that. So, she took her time, putting her outfit together. Not too flashy, not too plain. Not likely to draw too much attention from anyone else. It was pretty lousy last year too, I guess. But for him, she wanted him to say she looked cute. Okay. Good luck, I would say. She had put so much fervent, through an effort into picking out her clothes and accessories. Any toppings for you, miss? We've got sesame seeds, pickled ginger, and grated garlic. Oh, no, thank you. Come on, let's try the garlic. It takes the flavor to another level. Hey, Asai, quit trying to push garlic on this girl this early in the day. Okay, what the hell? They entered the... The hell is that? Vandervogel Club Ramen, okay. Club ramen stand right in the open and were hailed by the spirited, resonant voice of the well-built vendor, which would have been more suitable for the far greater number of customers and wasn't especially comfortable. However, at the moment that level of discomfort was actually pleasant for Setsuna. With other things grabbing their attention, they won't be able to focus solely on each other. It was perfect. As Haruki had so aptly pointed out, the pork ramen they were served within the 3 minutes of ordering was of a quality that could only belong to the university festival ramen stand. So, he's saying it's bad. I think. Or very poor. They each took their first bites and exchanged strange smiles with each other. Yeah, okay. This is actually cool scene. Like, there's a lot of stuff that's happening in between them, but this is like kind of fairly normal. So good. However, the sharing and this mistake seems to relieve some of their mutual attention. Yeah, exactly. Until they ate the ramen in silence, the atmosphere between them was as warm as the steam drifting around them. Hey, welcome, welcome. One Gel Ramen is open for business. Okay. You can have a seat right now. If you like, how about it? Right, see ya. The wheelsman bellowing continued to sound out in complete disregard of the comfort of the customers. In the midst of the noise, Cessna took advantage of the fact that no attention would be drawn to her behavior or conversation, and sat by his side, serving her ramen, sipping the soup and... What? Oh, nothing. She questioned his gaze. Okay. Come on, just tell me. Because her feelings were now as warm as her body, because she had gained the strength to take one little step further. No, I was about to say something, but it might come off rude. Oh, you mean this? Yeah, you are still doing it. The moment she realized that Haruki's gaze turned away from her even so slightly, Susanna's left hand moved impulsively. And the back of her hair, which that hand was holding, jumped with it. Okay. You always do that when you're eating ramen. Always do what? Oh, you mean holding by my hair back? Yeah, you don't hold it back when your hand... You don't hold it back with your hand the entire time, do you? Okay, sorry. I know it would be easier to tie it back, but that would look good in my case. Wouldn't look good in my case. This is different font, so this is a memory from when they were a pair, and Haruki basically picked up that her behavior is still the same. I hadn't thought about that. Oh yeah, of course. If I had a straight hair like Thomas-san, it would look cute with a pony. I would look cute with a ponytail. Okay, yeah, this is definitely memory. You're plenty cute, Setsuna. Eh? I mean, the way you put all the effort into fussing over little things like that, so middle class, it's cute. I can't really tell whether you're complimenting me or insulting me. Sorry. Not that I really care, I'm happy either way. This is actually the first time, really, that we see actual date with Setsuna. That Haruki and Setsuna had a date like this. This is the first time. Okay. Setsuna? Come on. Eat your ramen before it gets soggy. Back then, he had similarly prefaced his remark by warning that it would be insensitive and rude. You can get rid of the habits like this easily. I'd say. Back then, they were also at the school festival stand. Okay. So it brings memories. It was the day of their public debut as the boyfriend and girlfriend. Nothing gonna change that much in a year. Is that so? Yeah, that's right. As Setsuna slightly about his scolding, Haruki felt silent. But the silence this time was more relaxing. Not like the awkward silence of before. Because she knew that the current Haruki had accepted the current Setsuna. Okay. Because she knew it wasn't that their conversation was failing to connect. It was just... there wasn't any need to connect. Oh. Kinda hurt. So Setsuna had her feel of the essay of that easy silence, slowly draining the last drop of her soup, and immediately thereafter she started to panic over the excess of salt and calories she had consumed that day. Good job. Wow. Are you serious? Haruki showed slight exasperation and a slight smile at her reaction. Setsuna smiled as well, enduring the pain that shot through the back of her nose. Here, Haruki-kun, they gave me 2 for free. Okay. Takoyaki. Yep, it smelled so good I couldn't help myself. Aren't you regretting all the ramen you ate earlier? I am, that's why I'm only having 2. You can have the rest. Wait, I had ramen too, as you might remember. But I can't eat any more than this. Then what's the point of getting the freebies? I mean, it was a good deal, was it not? Okay. Something needs to be done about that housewife impulses of yours. Oh wow. And the events that happened in the next few hours up until sunset were not the ones Cessna could clearly keep in her memory. Back to the memories, I think. The Class A haunted house seriously scary. Yeah, memories. Sorry, Cessna, that's probably my fault. Is that so? So they're being so serious about scaring us because of your instructions to Haruki-kun? Oh no, I didn't mean it that way. Yep, once a class rep, always a class rep. You might have retired, but you still has a lot of influence. Similar to you right now, Cessna. You kind of retired from like being idle, basically, because you don't want to do this apparently anymore. But it's still over you. Once idle, always idle, huh? Where is it? Yeah. Now that's not what Sounds some other reason for them being so belligerent in their attacks. Haruki-gon, I'm scared. Cessna. Okay. Cessna? Getting all three to refocus on public, are we? God damn it, they're just jealous. That's why they're scaring them. And you calling her Cessna too, you traitor! Zombies don't get to bring personal feelings into this. You're all supposed to be dead, remember? Okay, this is funny. She had longed to spend time like this. She was spending it with the person she's always wanted to spend time with. Cessna, are you really planning on going to the Taisho cafe? Well, it's the last day. You haven't gone yet, right? It's our class booth. Hey, on the first day before everything opened. But you're gonna be there today. Why don't we stand by and tease her a little? Nah, I don't think we should. Oh wow, just look at the line, even though it's the last day. See, wouldn't you feel ridiculous waiting in line like that for your own class? Let's oh, it's fine. You won't get bothered with chats while we wait. Let's go. Wait, think about my safety. I can get caught in crowd. Wow. Yeah. This is the first time we actually seeing them like being actually together on dates and stuff. We missed that in the novel, in the visual novel. But Cessna memories, awareness and knowledge, and she was right here in this moment, blended together with her memories of the past, leaving her on the cloud 9. Why don't we go to the public policy department booth? Taka and Io might be there. Okay, so this is the present. Nah, thanks, I would rather not go there. Why? Cessna, you're never going to change, are you? What do you mean by this? Do you ever think about how other people look at you or whenever they may misunderstand you? I'm aware of all of that. Okay. Really? Really? Almost excessively. I'm constantly thinking about how other people see me. Okay. I like this conversation, actually. Then, try to think about it right now. Think about what would happen if the two of us were show up there. Would invite some misunderstanding? Yeah? That's not. Never mind. Past and present, dream and reality, recollection and hope. All of that information from different places and times seeped into Cessna and sent her emotions into a state of turmoil. The school's going to close soon. Already? Yeah, it's quarter to 7. Right, there's no closing even tonight. I mean, it's only the first day, and there's no folk dance. Yeah, right, I see. Cessna? So... Huh? Should I, walk you home? Okay. Haruki seems to be more willing to get back together as friends in general than Cessna, I think. I think, like, Haruki overcame his, like, fear, basically, faster than Cessna. Cessna is more scared, I think. I mean, May I walk you home, please? Haruki-kun. Wait, no, sorry, I forgot what I just said. Hey, why don't we rest for a bit? Before she realized, it had gotten dark out. Night had fallen. Ow. What's wrong? My foot got stepped on. Oh, sorry. I haven't done any folk dancing since elementary school. And now memories of the dance they had. Okay. No, that wasn't you. It was one of the other guys. God damn it. See, those guys over there who aren't dancing, they're actually done it a few times now. It's not funny, you know? You're the reason for it. But I knew people would get jealous, but this goes beyond what I expected. You're way too popular, Setsuna. Yeah, we definitely miss these things from the visual novel. I'm glad we are having this. So they really been like very happy couple. We didn't really show their like personal events that much. But you promised to take on that burden, didn't you, Haruki? And I will. It's my duty, my privilege as your boyfriend. Could you say something? I completely embarrassed myself saying that. Oh, sorry, I got engrossed in what you just said. Honestly, you're so easy. Setsuna? Hey. Why don't we rest for a bit? Good idea. Should we head for the vending machines? Nah. Under the tree, over there. Aren't you thirsty? I am. Then? But it isn't my throat that is dry. Huh? It's my lips. Oh. Oh damn! Smooth! That tree is perfect. Okay. Setsuna? We'll go under the tree. We have to go under the tree. Alright, alright. Wow. The hell. In the music room too, and under the tree in the schoolyard. That night at the festival, the two of them confirmed their feelings for each other. So, how was the first day in the Hojo Festival, everyone? According to the executive committee report, our first day general entrance count topped last year by about 500. Which is easily a record high. In the empty classroom, its lights already turned off. The only sound had been heard were the bustle from outside. Not as great as it was during the day, and from somewhere, voices on the radio. Incidentally, our staff were busy recording the outdoor shows. I wish I could have seen it. The Wata's Troop's similar performance. Can someone give us their impression list? Anyway, there's no point in grumbling here, so let's hear the rest of the entire day spent with nothing but fuel. Wait, what? So let's hear the results, okay, of the entire day spent with nothing but fuel. For fuel, but convenience store onigiri. Oops, I'm grumbling again. Anyway, our first song. It was live broadcast from the Hojo FM, which was the only broadcasting station in the university. Okay. These days, it was simple enough to transmit to the whole world through the internet, but this station, sponsored by a somewhat old-fashioned group that was bent on having the broadcast be limited to people within campus, actually drew a fair bit of popularity among the students, with its sense of exclusivity and its equally old-fashioned, straightforward programming. Aren't you cold, Setsuna? I'm fine. Amid the sound and enthusiastic shouts and cheers from the radio, the two of them stood perfectly still, staring at the scenery outside, which was different from what one could easily see. A late autumn wind blew in through the open window, chilled by the dim night. That was fun. Setsuna murmured from her heart, holding her hair back as a cold wind fluttered. A murmur full of happiness, whenever with regard to now or to the year before, was unclear, but was happiness she had not expressed recently. Yeah, it was. Haruki reply carried the weight That was enough to satisfy Setsuna overflowing emotions. So they managed to actually get to like talking terms to each other, I guess. It may not have been the reaction they would have given a year ago, but the intention behind was undoubtedly optimistic. Wait, ramen, takoyaki, canned apples, crepes. My stomach still feels heavy. No wonder. I never visited the manga club before, so it was great. Though I wasn't quite sold on the portraits they were drawing. I want to know. I want to check the portraits they were drawing. I probably would like them. I thought the super deformed style was pretty good. The flea market was great too. I had so much trouble deciding what to buy. You just haggled and haggled and haggled. Good job. So I didn't get to visit the Taisho Cafe because someone wanted to go, but will you please just imagine what a disaster it would have been? But even so, I really enjoyed myself. Yeah, me too. Ah, okay. There's no way. Like, you are not going to tell me that they will be a pair in the closing chapter. They're not going to go back into being a pair in this novel here. There's no way. I refuse to believe that they will start dating again. This is not possible. Unable to contain her surging emotions, she took in a big breath, turned her gaze from the outside to the inside of the classroom and swallowed that breath hard. Not because her expectations were betrayed, but because it was fulfilled. I enjoyed it, Setsuna. Haruki-kun. I shouldn't. Furious alarms. Bells went off inside Setsuna's heart. At some point, her eyes had become accustomed to the dark. She remembered why she had been looking outside until now. As a result, the look on Haruki's face at the moment was burnt into her eyes. Thank you so much for today. He was wearing a bashful, happy look. It was a look she hadn't seen for the past half year. A look she had seen constantly until the end of winter. She shouldn't do it. She was on the verge of deviating from the mere exaggeration. She was on the verge of becoming someone that troubled Haruki and made him suffer. I haven't enjoyed myself this much since I started university. Huh? She shouldn't. And yet, Setsuna couldn't keep a sob from finding its way into her voice. I had so much fun. I was so happy today. Setsuna. The exact situation she had feared occurred immediately. Why? Why? The look that appeared on Haruki's face was unbearable, felt of guilt, regret, and sorrow. What are you thinking? Why are you talking like that again? It was probably changing to some expression she had. This couldn't have been that big a deal for you, Setsuna. But you said it was fun, Haruki-kun. You thanked me. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about you. The results had surpassed her expectations. They talked so much, they walked together, they laughed together. She certainly hadn't imagined that things would go this well. Today should be more than enough to satisfy her, even if they were to part now. Don't you know that there's nothing to be gained from being obsessed with me? That's something I should decide, don't you think? You shouldn't decide on your own. Who's speaking which sentence? I'm a little bit confused. Haruki? This is Haruki, I think, and this is Setsuna. Yeah, I think. But she couldn't hold back her greed, seeking something more when things were already going so well. Everyone in our department, even those outside of our department, guys and girls alike, they're all interested in you, Setsuna. They all want to get to you know. So if you just look around you, even if only little, someone else will immediately... I just can't do that. But why? Because I'm selfish, because I really am a woman with the high standards. Okay. I can't comment on this. That's not true. You are not really the way you look at all. You are ordinary, family-oriented, and sure, you can be a little mean, but you really kind deep down. Anyone fall for you? I'm only like I'm only like that with the guy I love. Oh, ooh, wow. So she's basically saying I still love you, even like everything happened. I mean, obviously she would still love him. Like, it can't just fade away like this, especially if they like not talking and stuff. Like, they still remember stuff. But oh my god, this is so awkward. Cessna. She couldn't only keep pressing forward. She could only keep pressing forward. Yes, like you said, a lot of people who came up and talked to me. They invited me to do stuff. She had no plan or strategy. All she could do was to leave things up to a chance. I was asked to join clubs, to enter Miss Hojo contests, to sing at concerts. It was disgusting. They wouldn't leave me alone. I came after you to join the contest too. I was pretty disgustingly persistent about it. But none of them cared about my own circumstances. They had no concern for me. They didn't try to get to my core. Yeah, this is what I mentioned or tried to mention before. When like people were like trying to talk to her. There's only been one person who pushed his way into my life with no ulterior motives whatsoever. Yep, that's who Haruki is really. So she felt no more shame over her real self. I'm the girl they called that Ogiso Setsuna. She felt no shame over being a princess who was held in such a high esteem. I'm a fake idol that everyone's put on the pedestal. A troublesome princess who had no unattainable, who was not unattainable because of her qualities or worth, but because of how difficult it was to get to know her true self. I can get along with invitations from people who are after something. I can be swayed by nosiness from people with a reason behind it. What this princess wanted wasn't a kiss from a prince. From a prince. What she truly wanted was scolding from her minister. She wanted someone who was strict and nagging. She wanted a lecture with sincerity behind it. Haruki-kun. You can't do this, Setsuna. Setsuna left hand grasped Haruki right. Don't you remember how much I hurt you? His fingers entwined with hers one by one as she wrapped all of them in her soft palm. Oh no, don't make the same scene as you did last year after the festival. This is starting the same. With the fingers. I've abandoned you for the half a year. You can make up for it over the next half a year and beyond. And now they intertwined. Setsuna right hand and Haruki's left hand. You know, don't do this to me, please. Even if we did yield to our loneliness and went back to how we were, I could end up hurting you again. We won't know unless we try. There, in the darkness. Setsuna hot breaths and her eyes sparkling in the faint, bitter light were all reached Haruki. I don't deserve your forgiveness. It's up to me to decide. Jesus. Wow, Setsuna is really like... Oh wow. Oh wow, she is so not giving up on Haruki. And Setsuna made up her mind to take one more step. She brought her leg connected. No! No. Don't do this. Don't bring more pain. She brought her connected hands to her chest. She bumped her forehead against Haruki's chest. Because I love you, I still love you, I always have, Haruki. Their bodies were touching. Now that's all remains was their hearts to reach one another. Setsuna? Haruki-kun. It was only a matter of time, surely. Haruki couldn't leave Setsuna alone. And when they were both on the verge of tears, he would compare the scene of you would compare the scene of hurting Setsuna back then with the scene of hurting her now. What kind of calculated, mischievous thought process is that? And would realize how ridiculous it would be to add a new scene on top of it. Setsuna, hey, Haruki-kun, but... Eh? Why? Wait, what is happening? The romance between the noble and her servant. The design of destiny, twisted in so many complicated ways. Couldn't be broken that easily. Now for our last song of the day. I wonder how many of you listeners will know this one. Actually, this one is from the last year concert, not today's. From the high school concert, no less. The original song. Oh my god. Are you... You cannot. This is illegal. Oh my god. Another a couple years below us. Yeah, that concert is the stuff of legends. People still think about how I drew everyone away from the university festival. And there were people just spilling out of the gym. It just so happened that the track found its way into our hands. And the other day, so without further ado, we'll give you its revival 1 year later. Okay. And I have to cut here. It's not the end of the episode for you, but I might be in a little bit different mood tomorrow when I will continue reading. But yeah, for me, I will continue with this next time. For you, it's a cut. But if I will not be as emotional and like kind of shaken like now, then sorry, just so you know, yeah, it's going to be like totally different day after I continue. Okay, I'm back. Another day. So let's continue. Like Kazusa, actually no, Setsuna. Setsuna like basically try to get Haruki back at this point. And they're about to play their track, so let's go. Yeah, I've read it last time. Here is Todoka Naikoi, performed by the Hojo High School Light Music Club. Ah, that's not? Everything was rewinding, yeah, this triggers her. As her body stiffens, as she embraced him, her hands weakened as she held his. And what was left was true Setsuna, whom no one had ever seen. The true changed Setsuna, unknown even by Haruki, with despair painted across her face. Setsuna's character actually changed. Ah, it's good. It's good. She needed that. She had almost made it. She would have been able to follow through on the emotions that had been keeping in for so long. And yet, Todoka Naikoi resounded through the dark, silent classroom. But Setsuna's ears didn't catch her own singing voice. She didn't hear Haruki playing guitar. She only heard the keyboard that gently rapped the melody guiding them. She only had the name Kazusa Stoma. Yeah, okay. Like, I like that Setsuna have to deal with this. Like, she needed that. But at the same time, I'm conflicted about her approach to Haruki at this point. Like, I'm still not sure if I like Setsuna, but it's a direction. It's a direction, okay? They can improve. The wounds curved in Setsuna heart probed. Oh wait, did I just took a break yesterday before? I think this will conclude the episode. Yeah, I will get to this. I guess instantly, but yeah. So first episode, first chapter, together with the prologue. That was nice. I really like to see how 1 year changed Setsuna. I like her development. This, like, Cessna is still complicated. I'm still not sure if I like her per se, but I see they trying to make attempt to, like, fix her issues, I would say. And she needed this. She needed this trauma. She needed to, like, pass through this. So yeah, so we have 1 year time skip. So that happened year after Toma left. And yeah, but there's 2 years. 2 years, right? Before the novel events, before the closing chapter. So is the next chapter actually called? Yep, 2 years later. Okay, so we're going to have 2 year time skip just before the closing chapter, probably. But yeah, that's for the next episode. So thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for being with me. I will see you in the next one. So click the like button if you like the episode, subscribe for more, check my Discord and become a member if you'd like to support me and see this episode later. Thank you once again, and for no Pocket Watch is going out.